It all came down to these 4 steps in the evaluation process, which is like, listen, believe, and buy. So if you look at it, now the buy can be buy into friendship, buy into a relationship, or buy into whatever story you're telling. Okay. And you can get there many different ways. But when I teach people and go through it, I'll go, okay, so Fred, if leads to listening, leads to believing, leads to buy-in, then what's the most important step? And most salespeople go, buy. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're having an issue with.
You're listening to the Sales Today podcast, and I'm your host, Fred Copestake. On this podcast, we explore how sales professionals can develop a modern approach to winning business, the application of virtual selling techniques, how to create meaningful business relationships, and much more. Why not take our free collaborative selling scorecard to see how your sales approach suits today's environment? You'll find a link in the show notes. And welcome to this episode of the Sales Today podcast, where I'm delighted to be joined by Joe Ingram. I asked Joe, how shall I introduce you? And he said, look at the license plate behind me. Sales genius. That'll do, Fred. And I thought, that'll do for me. So if you can't see the video for this, he's genuinely got a registration number plate in the UK, sat behind with Sales Genius written on it, which is awesome. So Joe, welcome.
It's because I'm so shy, but I just put it out there. So my answer was,
this could be a boring podcast.
if you can own the identity, run with it, right? And there wasn't anybody out there claiming it. So there's Joe Polish. It's going with Joe. So I ran with it. So he's got his genius system. I have my genius system. There's enough genius to go around.
Yeah. I'll be mediocrely cleverly sort of person, if that's okay. Yeah. But to be fair though, I was doing the research piece and you've said that you've sold or been involved in sales of over 1.7 billion in a whole bunch of different industries.
Correct.
So there's a bit of genius going on there.
Yeah.
However,
again, I like it because, so to me, the fact that you can transition industries means that there's a set of universal principles that you can carry from one to the other that goes through. And I think a lot of people miss the fact that sales comes in. If you're good at sales, you can do sales at almost any industry. It's just adding product knowledge.
I agree. To be fair, if I got paid £1 for every time someone said my industry is different, I'd probably be worth about 1.7 billion, I reckon.
It's true. Everybody, again, the answer is mine's different, but that's our identity requiring us to say the reason I'm not as successful. Okay. So just so you're aware, Joe's pretty blunt when it comes down to late. You aren't as successful as you want to be. And now you're trying to find a reason not to utilize whatever someone's trying to help you with when it comes to training. And so I'm sure the listener base is saying, I would like to learn, but we have to get past that ego standpoint. And I think that's where a lot of sales trainers and a lot of people that want to share their actual message fail. They fail because of, if you can't crack the ego barrier that's there. So literally, if I'm listening to you, Fred, and you're trying to tell me something, most people are doing it like this.
Yep.
I don't want to hear you, don't want to see you. For those of you that are only listening, I put my hands in front of my face. Yeah. And so that's what, again, I have to crack the ego wall. And so typically if I train or if I do anything, I play funny videos in the beginning. And I explain to you ahead of time, I say, I'm judging you right now. So watch this video and enjoy it. But no, I'm being in the back of the room watching all of it. And then they all go, what? And then as they watch it, they laugh. The ones who don't laugh, I walk out and go talk to the manager and I go, this person's not good for sales. Too sensitive. They can't hold track because it's a prank video. And if you're sitting there going, that was just me. That was just, and I'm like, the guy got a whole basketball stadium to join in on the prank. Come on. It's there. Yeah. So I look and I say, if you can't laugh, then sales is not the game for you because you're going to take everything so imminently purposeful at you that you'll miss everything.
Yeah. There was a period where I don't know what was happening. Might be my own qualification. I'll take responsibility for this, where we seem to be having tons of discussions in training about why we can't do these things. And I'm thinking we should be talking about how do we do these even better than I'm giving you the basic idea. Let's apply it into your market. And we're fighting around, oh, it won't work with this, it won't work with this. And I had to go back and have a decent look at the material. Well, that's not wrong. Okay, so I've done something wrong in who I'm working with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of it has to do is who is it sitting in around you, right? Rome said, you're the average of the 5 people. I say, look at every area of your life and say, who are the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? And so looking at that, you have to say, great, in my finances, who do I surround myself with? In business, who am I surrounding myself with, right? Fitness, right? Fred, you go to the gym, talking to other people at the gym. Guess what? You're going to have conversations that have to do with health too, because you're in the gym with people. Where if you meet at the donut shop, maybe health ain't the best place for you. The best topics, yeah.
The gym is next to Pizza Hut.
Nice.
Literally, you have to walk past it to go to
that way you can go there and do the self-justification of, I just walked into the gym and left, right? I do have social media posts where, like, I moved into a new complex and they have a gym. And I walked in on the first day. I'm like, hey, it's the new year. I'm taking the one picture that shows me in the gym for the year, but I'm on the tour. But that's the only time you're going to see me in the gym this year.
I love it. And would you bring that one out at the beginning of every year?
Every year, a memory pops up. I'm like, yeah, that's the one. But I used to post, just to be Joe, I used to post consistently every day, gym update, right? Still not there. And then I would post it, and then I would put little comments going, it's about consistency, people. It's about consistency. I'm on 30 days in a row, not there. Yeah.
Did you give yourself a little badge? My gym sends me an achievement thing.
Yeah.
So did you give yourself one? So yeah, 30 days not going. Well done, mate.
Right. You know, the comedian guy that I am, all my friends are the same way. So I had one guy who decided to get fit, printed off my profile picture from social media, and then every time he went to the gym, he would tape it to one of implements in the gym. So I don't even know, right? One of the pieces of equipment. And then he would take a picture going, Joe and I working out on this, Joe and I working out on this. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So
I love that. We could go off.
We're going to go all over the place. Joe, shut up. Let Fred.
No, but there is good advice in the stuff we've just been saying about people you surround yourself with, about being consistent. And ideally, it's on consistency with something that's going to be a little bit more rewarding.
Actually,
but
with the benefit.
Things. But these universal sales principles, because I think you said you boiled them down into 4 things. 4 things to sell in any market, any country. Yeah. So what are they?
So again, and you guys are going to go, that's so simple. Yeah, I know. Everything is. And I think it was Einstein said, if you can't explain it like a child, you don't know it to a child, you don't know it well enough, right? So sitting down, I was like, you know what? Everything we do, every relationship you have, friendship, real relationship, right? Even if you don't like anybody, it all came down to these 4 steps in the evaluation process, which is like, listen, believe, and buy. So if you look at it, now the buy can be buy into friendship, buy into a relationship, or buy into whatever story you're telling, okay? And you can get there many different ways. But when I teach people and go through it, I'll go, okay, so Fred, if it leads to listening, leads to believing, leads to buy-in, then what's the most important step? And most salespeople go, buy. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're having an issue with. This is why people say, you don't listen. I have friends that go, you got to tell good stories. That's what gets people to build rapport with you. That's their way of the like, right? I got to get the story going that comes in. But if I don't like you, so think about that. Somebody you don't like, picture that person in your head. They tell you the funniest joke you've ever heard. You aren't laughing. You're sitting there going, I won't give you the satisfaction of laughing at what you said because I hate you. And you're like, whoa, what? But that person, you won't laugh. You will save the joke to share it with people you do, okay, so that you can all laugh together. But think about it from a prospect salesperson role. I got to get someone to like me. Now, I am not the guy that says, go stalk them on social media. Find something that they like so you can lie and say you like it too, right? Everything I do is ethical. I'm just that annoying, right? I'm like, I will stay above board because I want to sleep at night. And that's my benefit, is to sleep at night.
Is liking or is being liked the same as being their friend?
No,
This is an area that we get into
no,
a bit of a mess with,
I'm
don't we?
not building friends. Okay. And again, I deal with a whole bunch of other sales experts that are out there. And again, we can do this, but I'm the only one with the license plate. Okay. So I'm going to be the genius. Now, when you look at it, I don't believe that sales is a relationship game because that's what they're going to tell you. Okay. Sales is a relationship game. I don't have time for that. Do you know what creates a relationship? Time. There needs to be time with people. Okay. I don't have that kind of time. For one of the first things I teach people is assume rapport. Assumed rapport. It is literally, I assume we're already friends. So Fred, as soon as you turned on your camera, I'm like, that's my buddy Fred. And I'm going to talk to him like my buddy Fred. And if I'm wrong, Fred will stop me. But I don't have to go where everybody goes, okay, when I jump into this sales call, I've got 4 minutes of rapport building, right? I'm going to ask him open-ended questions. I'm going to ask him things about himself. I'm going to say, what do you like? And then you go, oh my goodness, I have 4 cats. And you're going to go, oh my gosh, I love cats. No, I hate cats. I don't like cats. So I'm not going to get on there and go, I love cats the way they purr. No, stop it. Stop being that person because your fakeness leads you by probably 5 feet. Okay. So as you're talking to someone, they're like, here's somebody fake. Here's somebody coming up trying to be something different than what they are. I want to genuinely assume we're friends and talk to you that way. And so when looking at it, I got to so if I already act like I like you, all of a sudden barriers come down. And I'm not talking to you with my notepad out going, give me something I can bond with you. Okay. Well, who are you selling to? Do you understand what they would need from you? And then determine how your product can or cannot solve it. Okay. If you realize, I'm one of those guys that go, whoa, what I teach is not going to help you. And they're like, what? Because I believe as somebody whose job it is to go in and create results within someone else's company. Okay. And even if you're a standalone salesperson, it's your company. You just have somebody fronting you with all of your internet expense and laptops and stuff like that. But I need you to understand it's your company. So if my job is to do that, your results are my results. So I won't take on a client if I don't believe I can get the results because I need the bragging rights. Right? If they know a bigger, badder customer than themselves, I need the referral. And I don't want a referral is because, oh, he's funny. Oh, he's a good guy. Right? Stop it. I want result after result. My relationship comes from consistent delivery of results that are positive for my client.
There's an interesting thing. You said a lot of interesting things, but there's an interesting thing that I made a note of here and circled a couple of times while you were talking, which was fakeness.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're talking about the artificial kind of hail fellow met type thing and pretending
Right.
that you've got these mutual interests and all that. I'm wondering if we've got a new problem with fakeness now in the world of sales, which AI is creating for us, in that we can create a facade of knowing a shed load of stuff about customers. We can put out there, hey, look, yeah, this is what's going on in your world. This is what's happening. Da 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 da. Straight out of AI, no actual human processing going on. And so the customer thinks, oh, wow, this guy totally gets it. Awesome. I want to talk to him. And then you rock up and you haven't got a clue what that thing is all about because you actually didn't even look at it. You just took it straight from GPT and whacked it to an email or whatever you did. And there you are, sat in front of them going, did I say that? Oh, cool. Is that going to come back and bite us in a big way? Or is it doing already?
It is already biting people right now. So remember, any tool we add is a magnifier of your ability. Okay. So guess what? A long time ago, there was no email, so we could only do phone. And then there was, guess what? Now we have the ability to text. So you can have someone write your texts for you, right? If you think about it, in most sales arenas, the CRM is filled with templates because I can't trust my salespeople to put together a decent 2 sentences in an email. Okay. So now I can go to Chat GPT I can go over to Bard. I can go to any one of these AI things and have them write me an email that sounds pretty. Guess what? The second they meet you and talk to you, the second they jump on something, you're going to be you. So are you using those tools to expand your own knowledge base so that you can deliver based on what it polished for you? A polished turd is still a turd. Okay. But again, what you don't want to do is come off as a diamond and be a turd when they actually interact with you.
Yeah, I think that's where we could turn this into a complete AI podcast, but I think we're going that route with some who will take it and use it to communicate it direct. Others who are taking it to inform themselves, to learn, and then they're going to rock up and they're going to be way more likable because they've got the answers to stuff because they've been thinking about it with some massive turbocharged thinking.
Yeah. And if you're
going to listen and we're going to get to that results
faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get results. If you take the information and internalize it, right? So if I'm having Chat GPT or any one of the AI programs out there that are writing my emails for me, right? I have one that makes everybody sound professional. But when you do that and you write it all out, if you're not reading it to understand the sentence structure or anything else, then what happens if there's an outage? Right? You have to go back to me good, this good, by now. Whoops. Yeah, what happened? Yeah.
To be fair,
and please,
emails
everybody,
are supposed to work really well.
Yeah. In some situation, if you know the personality of the buyer, yes. But please, everybody, take out the first sentence in any AI written thing that says, I hope this message finds you. It's a big red flag. It's a big red. We're like, oh, guess who wrote this? I had an applicant apply for a job with one of my clients. And I said, oh, you're using ChatGPT to write your emails too? And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, always delete the first sentence. It's the same sentence in every one of the email prompts is, I hope this message finds you. I hope that, and I'm like, at least tell it to rewrite the first sentence because that's just nasty.
And the emojis. I'm talking social media now. Get rid of those bloody emojis on social media. Somebody said to me the other day, it looks like a 15-year-old girl's Instagram.
See, I'm right there. I had a guy selling a $150,000 product. And he's in one of my classes and he's looking at his phone. He starts giggling. I'm like, well, stop everyone. What are you doing? He goes, I'm texting one of my prospects to see if he wants to buy this. And I go, can I see your phone? And he hands it to me and he's got little hearts, a little truck emoji. He's got and I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And he goes, my clients like that. I said, you're here because your boss said you don't sell enough. So stop telling me that you know what you're doing. And I said, is this, and a perfect example, like you said, I go, is this a 15-year-old girl who's buying a $150,000 product? Is it a 50? And he's, no. I go, so it's a professional person spending $150,000 on something they truly wouldn't even need. And you want to use little heart eye emojis to get your point across? No. So I took it, backspaced it all out, typed in my thing, boom. I said, he'll answer you back in about 10 minutes with a time for this evening to meet to go over the specifics. And he's, you don't understand it. And he goes, bing. The guy's 6:15. And I was like, there you go. And I said, can we please stop with the better? Okay. And we'll move forward.
Awesome. So. Let's move forward. We could talk about the like piece all day.
Yeah.
Listen. And we could probably talk about this all day as well.
Yes.
But some highlights around listening and what we're doing to listen well.
Okay. So as the process goes, if I like you, so that there's something about you that I like. Okay. Fred, it could be as easy as going, hey, I like the headphones. I have headphones like this. It's something similar. So like gets what is the familiar about you? Okay. Then I start listening to what you're saying. So if you look like my third grade teacher that used to throw things at me when I was in school because I wouldn't stop talking, then you have a lot to overcome in the like section. So I'm not listening to you. So when it gets to the point of actually listening, it's because we've already established something for me to like. That's why I say assume the rapport. Then I start listening to what you're saying. As I do that, it starts to strengthen the like again. And we bounce between those two states right there, the liking and the listening. Once I get to that point of listening to you and going, wow, what you're saying resonates down here in our gut. When our gut goes, that's true. That's true. Yep, that's true. And your brain's not going, stop, that's fake, right? So we all had that little guard gate. It looks like a parking garage. And there's a guard sitting right there waiting to drop it down. So if I say something false, so as I'm talking to you, you start nodding, you're listening to this, you go, yeah, that's right. That makes sense. I do feel it in my gut. And then I come back with a 2 + 2 is 5. Did you hear the guard gate come down? It was like, boom. Nope, he's lying. There's something wrong. And now that I tell you I did it on purpose, you're like, oh, wow. So he did that on purpose to show this thing. So now the comes back and the like will keep going. And so that will give you the buffer for making mistakes as you're going through in the listen. Then I start believing you. And I say, what you're saying resonates to be true in my gut. So I believe you. Only at that point could I actually buy something from you. Now I'm going to tell you, the only thing I could do is buy from you and feel good about it. People will buy from you, okay, if you're the only person with the software, the tool, the product. If you're the only one, they will buy from you despite you, okay? But they don't, not to spite you, despite you. I'm going to tolerate you to get the end result, okay? But that's called a low gross deal because they're going to window you down all the way through. But when you do listen, believe, and buy in any industry, when you get to the buy, it's one of those things going, I didn't even think I was going to buy this today. This is amazing. And they connect with you. So I put everything into the 4 and I say, that's where you look at it. But do you understand personality typing? Can you figure out who that person is? I have a buddy of mine, Brian Galkey, who looks at your face and he can tell based on the makeup of your face, should he get straight to the point? Should he go around? Should he be like, ooh, this person's auditory, this person's visual, this person is more kinesthetic, this person, and I'm like, woo, okay. I get to brag because if you look right here, I got these lines that are really deep in my forehead, and those are called Einstein lines. So that goes back with my little genius plate, right? It says you have mastered a subject so much that your brain unconsciously has drawn in a line to say mastery. This is mastery. This is this. So he'd be a great guest as well because it's phenomenal. But I take all of these tools to understand the prospect better so that I can be what the prospect needs me to be, right? Again, not being fake. I'm not going to be fake. I'm going to access that part of my personality to match their personality so they don't have to change. Okay. That would automatically resonate with them in the like category, automatically going to the I'm listening to you part of it. And it helps to get you to that point faster.
It's not fake. It's being kind. That's
No,
how I would explain adapting your behavior. So you can read somebody and go, this person needs a ton of information. They need me to slow down because I'm quite fast normally.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're going
Most
to
of us
take
are.
time thinking.
Yeah.
So I will adapt to it to make it more comfortable for them. They'll
Right.
like that. They'll respond back to it. Now, someone's told me that's manipulative. And I'm like, no, you're completely missing the point on this. That's
So
kind. That's
what is
adaptive.
what
You
is
know?
manipulation? I'm trying to get you to purchase something you don't need? Is that what you're going into? I don't believe we are. The answer is is communicating with someone in the style in which they communicate manipulative? Only if you're trying to serve your own benefit and harm them. That's the definition of manipulation. Okay. It's not in any way for their benefit and you're only focused on you, which do salespeople do that? Yeah. But I don't think you should.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not talking to them. Yeah, I'm not trained. I ended up in a situation once where I suddenly realized that this is what this company was like. I had to back out of it really quickly. Didn't want to be involved in that anymore. The stuff they were asking to be trained in, it was just like, no.
Exactly. If you stop and understand go back and review a sales call, go back if you've got Zoom videos of you on a sales call. If you are continuously repeating yourself, you're talking way too fast for that client. I can't like you if I have to sit back and go, what? Could you repeat yourself? That person needs you to slow down. I say people talk at either 30 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, or 70 miles an hour. And it's the amount of data your brain can process. But I put it in miles per hour because we all know that there's somebody in the fast lane doing 30 miles an hour, right? You're going to try to do 70. Oh, there's only one word you're going to hear is about, ow. Like, whoa, what was that? And you're both yelling at each other. But if you don't match speed with them so that you can talk from window to window in the car, right? As you're driving down the road, you're not going to have it. And if the customer goes, I'm sorry, what was that again? You need to stop and say, I need to slow down. Pay attention to them. Okay. You need to listen to them in this process too, so that you can hear them. I will listen. One of the things I do the best is as I'm talking to somebody and they're like, I hear salespeople go, what do I need to do to earn your business? Wow, that's the weakest close ever. That's just like desperation point that you do it and it hurts. But the customer goes, I'm looking for a fantastic deal. And they go, amazing deals are all I do. Like, why wouldn't you use fantastic if that's their thing? I'd be looking for a significant discount. And they're like, I can take some money off of it. And I'm like, stop, use the language of the prospect. And I go, if anybody could afford to provide you with a significant discount, it would be me. That tells you I listened to you and I'm responding to you. And my words mean something to me, just like your words mean something to you. Don't force your words onto a prospect and say, could you change fantastic to awesome for me? I don't have to change it all. Not going to work.
It's funny, mirroring and matching in language. I don't think we shine the light on it enough. Everyone gets all excited about the body language side of it, don't they? Where you end up mimicking like a monkey if you're not careful. It just wasn't what we meant by that. But just picking up on the language pattern, the speed, the volume, the tone, and those words, the words they use.
Yeah, that's a whole training I do with people to go back and forth. I'll be like, I'll play a video and go, watch this. And that they just don't connect, that no one's paying attention and they do want to do body language, right? And I have to tell people it's 3 to 5 seconds on the body language, okay? And they're like, what? And I'm like, if you're going to copy body language, you have to do it after 3 seconds, but before 5 seconds. Otherwise, the unconscious mind of the person you're mimicking can see it. And then what happens is it totally gets them thinking about the 3 to 5 seconds so they can stop the BS of just trying to mirror their body. And I'm like, they're like, but I'm like, now pay attention to the client. Pay attention to the client. What are they saying? How are they saying it? What can you pick up on to do that? And so
I love that. I love that. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? We're very slightly off topic because we're talking about trading and of course that's close to both our hearts. How often we're asked or people want to really get into the stuff that isn't going to make a massive difference. It's just like the nonsense stuff, which is interesting and good fun. And of course, yeah, that's what we'll put it in because it's good fun, but it's not really going to make a difference. The stuff that's really going to move the dial, it's probably harder work and you'll not like me as much if I train that. And I think some trainers just don't do it. And I'm like, well, no, that's not
they
right,
stay,
you know?
but most people end up with, and I'm not saying it's bad, but more of a Tony Robbins experience where you go, you feel great for a couple days. When you leave, by the end of the week, you're back to your normal routine because I didn't give you anything other than a good time. I want to laugh. I want to get you guys to laugh because that breaks the barrier of ego. So then when I teach you something, it can go in without you stopping to go, I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe, and like, stop, just let's get past that point. If you're listening to this, just find one thing I said that you can walk away with. You don't have to go, I have to believe everything that he said during the show. Fred puts out a show all the time. Just look for one thing in each episode that you can add to your toolbox that'll help you move forward. And so that's
do it. That's the point, is that, again, I was talking to a neuroscientist about this just recently, where when we make a decision to do something, our brain rewards us as though we've done it.
Yeah.
That's why when you say you're going to the gym, you're happy with yourself because you've rewarded yourself.
And you don't have to do anything past that. You don't have to go. About how many people buy courses.
Yeah.
I get the dopamine hit for buying a course because I gave myself potential, but I did not take any action to make it a reality. But I feel better because you know what? Hey, if I went and watched that course, I could be much better later. So I gave myself infinite potential. So I'm good with that. I'll just sit here. It's 95% of all courses that get bought never get finished. And you're like, okay, that's how you do it.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Joe, I can't believe where the time's gone. After that.
I feel better than you were like, man, this dragged.
Okay. Yeah. How long have we been doing this?
Listen, has it been a year-long episode? Yeah.
broke the record for podcasting today.
Right.
Oh no, it's superb. Where can people get in touch with you? Because I think you're putting a lot of stuff out as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
And sharing a hell of a lot of your
My ADHD throws everything out at one time. I thought I'd be thinner with ADHD, but I think it's just only hyperactivity in my brain. What I would say the easiest way to find me go see if you like me, go see if there's something on there is go to geniuslinks.com. So the geniuslinks.com will get you to everything Joe that's out on the web. Go watch things, see things. Fred, for your people, I'll go in there and highlight a little thing that's blacked out. They go all the way to the bottom. They'll see one that says secret stuff on it. Click that. It'll take you to a hidden page on my website. There's free ebooks, presentations, sample trainings that are all there that aren't the standard stuff you'll find out on the web with all the links from that page.
awesome. I was going to say we'll put the link in the show notes, but is that now not making it a secret anymore?
Yeah, you put the Genius link show note. Don't give them the secret one to know. They have to watch your show to go see the, hey,
Yeah,
I should go to the very bottom and see the little shaded part that I can't see. Yeah.
That is brilliant. I love that. Absolutely love that. So we will put the geniuslink.com into the show notes.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for coming
My
on.
pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Sales Today podcast with me, your host, Fred Copestake. I hope you've enjoyed what you heard today. If you did, please get in touch and hit subscribe. And remember, you can take the collaborative selling scorecard for free to check out how your sales approach works in today's environment. You'll find it in the show notes.